Here.
You have a quorum, sir.
Thank you. Are we going to public comments? This is a time for members of the audience to come forward to address the agency on items on and not on the agenda, but within the PHA subject matter jurisdiction. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. There being no speakers, the public comments is now closed. Agenda organization, this is a time for the agency to discuss any changes in the order of agenda items. Would like to make any changes? No? There's no public hearings? Now we're going to consent calendar. Does anyone want to pull an item from the consent calendar for separate discussion? May I have a motion to approve the agenda in its entirety as presented?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. You go to discussion items, C10, PHA resolution number 2020-004, a request by the Community Development Department to extend the professional services agreement to HDR Construction providing services to the Public Housing Authority Residential Beautification Program for a period of 1 year. Can we get staff report, please?
Lori will have that staff report for us.
Good evening, Honorable Chairperson and board members. Staff is requesting approval for another extension to HDR Construction to provide residential rehab services for the Public Housing Authority's beautification program for 1 year. HDR Construction is in good standing with the California State Contractors License Board and has been successful providing professional services to rehabilitate and enhance the exterior of homes in the community. They have agreed to the extension of a contract for 1 year under the same terms and conditions under the agreement. Any questions?
Questions?
No, so you're just confirming that their pricing has not changed from
Correct.
the previous. Okay,
Correct. It will be under the same terms and conditions.
great.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. We go to C10, consideration of appointing of resident directors to the Public Housing Authority. Can we get a staff report, please? Your staff report on this?
Honorable Chair Member and members of the board, what you have before you is the consideration of appointment for resident directors to the Public Housing Authority. The time for the expiration is due now in January, and the appointment is through January of 2022 instead of 2023 as listed on the agenda, so that's a typo. And currently, there were 99 notices that were sent out to members who serve that are served by the Public Housing Authority, and of those we received a few of them that did come back, and the mayor did meet with one of the residents who did show interest, and based on that, the mayor's recommendation is to reappoint Carmela Mahar and to appoint Richard Prieto to serve the term to expire in January of 2022. That concludes my report.
Great, thank you, Lucy. Any discussions?
Yes, does it affect anything? Is Richard Prieto a city employee?
Honorable Chair, Director Roa, he is a city employee. The Public Housing Authority law allows for city employees to serve as resident members of the Public Housing Authority so long as their duties do not affect their role on the Housing Authority. And given his role in the city, it does not appear that that would be the case.
Questions? Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. On the agenda, actually on the public housing staff report, page 183, it states the deadlines when people can submit an application. November 15 was the first time, and through all the years that I've been here, they have always sent it one time, and I did apply during that deadline. They sent another one, and the deadline was December 17. On page 184, it shows the date that Mr. Richard Prieto applied, January 21st of this year.
Okay. So I did spoke with some residents that were inquiring.
Well, hold on. I don't think what she's saying is accurate. I think that's a date stamp, and I imagine that's probably from our internal staff. Is that correct?
No,
Unless it's
because
not?
when I came and I
Well,
submitted,
could we have staff
sorry, go ahead.
That date is accurate.
accurate in terms of? Can you clarify? I guess.
So the process is that as we receive any application such as this, we date stamp it, and then we scan it and submit it to PHA, and then at the conclusion of that, then they're presented to the mayor. No, that's when it was received by the clerk's office on January 21st of this year.
So it's very clear that he has an interest in, and I'm very happy that more residents, can take part. But if there are guidelines, and like the mayor likes to use the word protocol, we have to respect that. And in the past, there's never been another application sent out. And obviously, I take it as if it's a personal, matter that the mayor doesn't want to keep me here. And I'm thinking that it's retaliation because of the past. On August 27th, he berated me as a resident, even though I was, coming forward concerned for things going on in the city. And according to the Fair Housing Act, it's prohibited retaliation, even for PHA board members.
Anything else?
No, I just want to say that, unfortunately, Mr. Prieto did apply, but he applied after the deadline.
I have a question. Is it illegal for somebody to apply after the deadline?
Honorable Chair, Director Maravilla, the city has broad discretion in its application process. The appointments for the resident agency members are filled by the city council, and so it's a vote of the city council. The process is effectively at the city's discretion as to how you go about filling that process. Under state law, the appointed officials are they serve at the will of the board or the council that appoints them, and so that's what gives the board great discretion in this process. So the board can consider effectively whoever you want. So long as those names are before you tonight.
You mentioned that this is a council decision? A board decision.
Board
okay.
decision.
So the board members would have a vote in their reappointment or appointment?
The board will have the vote in the appointment tonight.
Okay, but what you're saying ultimately is that it's under the board's discretion in regards to the dates for the applicants.
Correct.
Okay.
Effectively, that there's great discretion. There's no, and another way to say it is that there's no specific laws as to what the application process looks like, and so the city has broad discretion in terms of advertising, asking for applications, those sorts of things. I should also note that the resident agency members that serve on the board have to meet certain qualifications. That causes a limiting effect on your applicant pool, which may contribute to the reason that you see lower numbers, generally speaking, on your applications.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Actually, I abstain from voting.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm in favor, but I don't think we heard everyone's decision.
Yeah, that vote was not.
Yeah.
I heard the second on the motion, and then I heard the yay votes, but I didn't
Right.
hear everybody's.
Correct.
So maybe we could just clarify for the record. So can you just repeat? So all votes in favor.
All those in favor say aye.
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 So the motion carries.
Motion carries. We're at new business. There's no new business. There's no closed session. Are there any staff reports? No staff reports. Are there any oral agency reports? No. There be no further business. I hereby adjourn this meeting at 5:49 until the next regular meeting to be held on Tuesday, February 25th, 2020 at 5:45 p.m. I hereby call the regular city council meeting of January 28, 2020 to order at 6:03. The invocation will be led by Hank Tremble, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Luis Roa. Can you please all stand?
Can we bow our heads, please? Father, in Jesus' name, we ask that you guide us as we make decisions for this city. Help us to keep the city first in our hearts. God, we just pray for the residents that you will strengthen them and let them see the vision that we set before them, and let us work together, my God, as one to make things happen. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey, Ernie.
City Clerk, please conduct roll call.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Trumbull.
Here.
Councilmember Maravilla.
Here.
Councilmember Farfan.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Roa.
Here.
Mayor Alvarado. You have
Here.
a quorum, sir.
Thank you. There's no proclamations or certificates. We have a presentation relating to the Celico Earn and Learn program and the city's youth employment program.
My name is Brianna Gonzalez, and I am the Youth Program Coordinator and Counselor for the City of Hawaiian Gardens. It's my pleasure to stand before you and update you with the program updates, and so you guys can see how much the program is expanding. Okay. So I'm happy to say just alone in the past 6 months, we have more than doubled the funds brought into the Youth Employment Program. From July to December of 2019, the program was awarded $176,330 to assist 77 families in the city of Hawaiian Gardens. This is due to the program receiving 100% accuracy on our annual program audit, where LA County comes out to ensure the program is following all of our guidelines. Now, what is the Youth Employment Program? This program is different than any other program the city has to help its youth. The program gives an opportunity to young adults in the city that are struggling with barriers that inhibit them in reaching their career and employment goals. It provides youth from ages 14 through 24 with a pathway in becoming confident, independent young adults. Through the program, a student employee has the opportunity to complete an 100-hour internship with 20 hours of paid work-based training. A student employee is paid $14.25 an hour and can make close to $2,000 to assist them with paying for school supplies, sports, clothing, but most of our students use their money to help out their parents and families. Sorry, I just have to go back. Okay. Okay, so before a student starts their internship, they are required to attend 4 workshops where I can get to know my students better, address their struggles, their needs, in order for them to be successful in their work experience. Some students do need additional resources like housing resources, childcare. So that's where I get to assess their needs and make sure that they have the fundamental resources so that they can be successful in their work experience. They also learn interviewing techniques, career exploration, appropriate work attire, resume, cover letter writing, and entry-level on-the-job skills, since this is their first real-life exposure to the work life. Now, we are in 2020, so one thing that I implemented this year is for students to create their online website where they can showcase their online portfolio to an employer. And this really sets them apart from other job seekers and really sets them at an elevated position. So on the website, they can list their education, experience, skills, awards, interests, and there's also a link to their resume along with their contact information. It also exposes them to create something they never thought they would have created, and it gives them the self-confidence in their abilities to be successful. Another thing we will be implementing on our next phase is for each student to have their own business card. So our goal in the program is for each student to leave the program with the needed tools to find their own career path. Now, the second part of the program includes 100 hours of work experience at a work site. Most of our work sites are local, so we work with different businesses in the community and even within the city. So our recreation department, engineering, CDD, finance, public works, public safety, every department in the city has been extremely supportive in mentoring our students and having them work in their department. We also have various sites in our local community, and our newest site being the California Dentistry Office, where one of our students was hired as a dental assistant. A new implementation is also the County Youth Bridge Program. So to qualify for this program, you have to be 18 years old and interested in permanent employment with the County of LA. So each student completes their 100-hour internship at a county site instead of one of our local sites. So some of the county sites are mental health hospitals, animal control centers, the district attorney's office, LA Fire Department, Natural History Museum, Sheriff's Department, which we've been very successful in placing our students and working with Sergeant Macy, who is an amazing supporter of the young adults in the community. Also our public library. Some of these sites are further away, but if a student is committed to working, like let's say they want to work at the district attorney's office, we can provide them with bus tokens or even gas cards to ensure that they are able to get to the destination. So I just want to say that, to reiterate, in our first phase from 2019 to the 2020 fiscal year, we were awarded 70 slots to employ 70 youth in the city. And then we're doing so good with meeting our numbers and our goals. So mid-December, Celico offered us an extra 7 spots, like $16,000 to help out 7 extra families in the community. However, I was going to be out of the office for that time, so we were going to have to deny the offer since there would be no one to oversee the program while I was gone. But I do want to give a huge thank you for the assistance that I was given. We were able to contract Evangelina Romero to assist with the program, and because of that, we were able to help out 7 extra students and their families. Out of those 7 students, 1 was hired as a vet clinic, another at a front desk receptionist, and another as a dental assistant. So this really highlights the importance of needing extra support while running the program and supervising the 77 student employees that we have over a period of 6 months. With that being said, I would like to introduce Evangelina Romero, who will present the second half of this presentation.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. Sorry, wrong one. Brianna and I are extremely honored to have the support to keep on changing our youth's future, to help them grow professionally, and to help them acquire critical skills to help the youth become responsible young adults. Nevertheless, mentoring, training, and keeping up with clerical work with perfection standards from Celico for 147 students each year is laborious and very demanding. Despite the workload, we enjoy every second of it because we can see each student, a very little portion of it that is here, benefit tremendously from this life-changing experience. Not to mention that Brianna would have to do this all by herself before they brought me in. Since my arrival, we have been able to give the students a one-on-one experience and grow our network with our local businesses in and around our cities. The Youth Employment Program has 5 accounts that covers all costs to maintain a successful operation. All of this is funded by the County of Los Angeles. As you can see here, each participant has to qualify under specific guidelines for each funding stream. The last account, which is the nearest to my heart, is our supported services that we use to pay for interview clothes, work clothes, and anything the student might need to be successful at work. For example, we were able to pay for our students' life scan, which $50 for a student can really, especially since we deal with 14 and 20 to 24-year-olds, it can be a lot of money for them. So we were able to pay that for them, and they were able to be successful in the County Bridge program. Another example is that we are able to buy students food because sometimes some of our students have really extreme living situations, and we don't want hunger to be one of the determinants that doesn't help them be successful at the workplace. And in its all entirety, the YEP has a total of 147 student employees, making the Youth Employment Program the biggest department the city has. And the best part, that this costs little to no money to the city's budget. One of the few, if not the only, program in the city that brings more than $350,000 yearly to benefit our city and our residents. Nonetheless, the program has yearly audits that are important because these audits determine how much funds we will receive from the county. If we do poorly in our audits, which we rarely do, we receive less funding. Yet when we do great, we are rewarded by receiving more funds that go directly to our youth. In the past, the YEP had 100% accuracy in the annual audit, which doubled the program's fund this fiscal year. With the help and support of our amazing supervisor, Linda Hollingsworth, and this city's council, we are looking forward to another successful year. Now, some of our students really wanted to come up here and share their experiences, so I will be presenting them. The first one will be Fernando.
Good afternoon, City Council and Mayor. My name is Fernando Alvarado, and today I will be supporting the Youth Employment Program. This program has been extremely beneficial to me because it's done a lot of great stuff for me. First, joining the program back when I was 15 is the best thing I have ever done. This program helped me explore different career paths, write my first resume. It also provided me with interviewing skills, work skills, financial management skills, and it set me up for the journey that I've established. I was on my third session with the Youth Employment Program, and at the time I was fascinated with entrepreneurship. During the training, Brianna had us create our own personal website. When something came to mind, e-commerce, I told myself I just learned to create my own personal website in a few hours, which meant that I could create my own online business. I decided to save up my YEP earnings with the idea of opening up my own business. I gathered up my first few checks and went to a Barnes & Noble and bought my own e-commerce book. I took it on from there, opening my own e-commerce, and with the money that I had earned, attended a few marketing and advertising courses, which helped me grow my business successfully. Now I know that my career path is, in fact, entrepreneurship. I'd like to end my presentation by saying that I hope that this program continues to serve young adults and gives our younger siblings and friends the opportunity to learn. Most importantly, that it continues to make positive changes in life. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Karen. I just want to take this moment to thank the Youth Employment Program for changing my life. I had just broken away from a toxic relationship. I was living in my car when I got a call from Brianna scheduling me for an interview. At first, I didn't want to go because I didn't have nice interview clothes. I figured, why even go if she's going to judge me based on how I look? But she didn't. Instead, she made me feel really comfortable to open up and tell her what I was going through. I remember she told me, "You will get through this and your life is going to get better." She gave me an opportunity, the opportunity other jobs would not give me. She even drove me to the DPSS office one morning and helped me get hotel vouchers so I wouldn't be sleeping in my car. She took me to buy interview clothes and gave me the opportunity to work in the program. I worked with the ATGM program, helping with office work. That really helped me put my experience on the resume, which got me the office job I have now. Brianna also showed me different career paths, helped me with my college application, and showed me how to fill out my FAFSA, so I am going back to school now to become a teacher. Not even my high school teachers helped me out and explained to me my options for secular education, but she would stay late after work to help me out. It also motivated me seeing how young she is. She has her own challenges in life that she told me about, yet she still goes on with her life and is super down to earth. I am just grateful that the city has this program to give young ones like me an opportunity and guidance. If it wasn't for her looking past my situation and giving me a chance to join the program, I don't know where I would be today. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Erica Ramirez, and I have been a part of the YAP program for 2 terms. During both terms, I worked in the Community Design and Development program in the city of Hawaiian Gardens. Not only does this program allow me to work and attend school, but it provided me with an opportunity to gain experience in the field I want to make a career out of. I've been able to work alongside, shadow, and learn from this city's engineers. I'm glad I took part in the YAP program because it taught me so many important skills like how to build a resume, prepare for an interview, and manage my time wisely. Thank you.
And her last experience is actually a parent, not a student, but she does look young.
Hi, good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council members. My name is Blanca Martinez, and I've been a resident of Hawaiian Gardens for a little over 30 years now. I first heard of the YAP program a couple years ago. Since then, my 2 older daughters, Melissa, 16, and Amanda, 14, have now gone through the program, and I can surely say it has made them independent, competent young individuals. They've acquired the knowledge and skills that they will need in order to enter the workforce one day and become productive adults. I've seen so many improvements in both Melissa and Amanda, including their maturity levels, schoolwork, and overall work ethic. Through this whole process, Brianna and Evangelina have always been there with a smile on their faces to guide my girls and I when we've had questions or concerns regarding the program. Special shout out to Brianna and Evangelina. Yay! So in conclusion, please help us support this program by allowing our children to continue participating in the YEP program. Remember our city's motto, our youth are our future. Thank you.
And we just want to end this with a small video that I put together of only like a quarter of our worksite supervisors.
Thank you to the City of Hawaiian Gardens, our youth, our future.
Safety Center, our youth, our future.
Our youth, our future.
It's just amazing how we see individuals just trying to find out, their career, and then just realizing here at our facility that they are teachers.
Our youth, our future.
Thank you. And thank you. That is. If you guys have any questions, we can address them as well here.
Well, I wanted.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Same, likewise. I'm really proud of both of you. You guys are excellent role models, just stunning, intelligent, brilliant young ladies. And I'm so excited and glad that all of these youth that are here present and not present have had the opportunity to work with both of you. So I just want to thank both of you for having such an impactful, sharing so much with these participants. And I'm glad to hear all the successful success stories. And I'm really just looking forward to seeing how this program continues to grow and develop. I'm really impressed that we received 7 extra allotments for this program. And I just want to say thank you, because the work that you do has a direct impact on our youth. And, we help make policy decisions, but really the people that make things happen are people like you. So I really want to thank you for making it happen for us and for the city and for these youth. And just congratulations to all of you for being excellent participants. And I hope that you guys come back in the future.
Thank you.
I also just want to commend you for all your hard work and efforts. You're changing lives here, and that is so great. I also want to thank the youth that came up. I know it's not easy sometimes to talk in front of a council and in front of everyone here at the audience, but that in itself speaks volumes, because the program has changed you, and it gave you a sense that, a sense of confidence. And it's done a lot for each and every one of you. So we want to thank you very much for all your hard work and efforts. And obviously, we want to continue to support this program because we know it's so critical for our youth. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yes, I also want to take the moment to acknowledge Brianna and Evangelina for really making a difference on this with these young adults. I think you both are playing a very important role there. You're empowering our youth. You're making a big difference, and I really appreciate your generosity to really taking the time and really put the heart into these young adults, because it's this is a very challenging times where it's important to stay on the right course. And really, I want to acknowledge the companies who make themselves available to really mentor these young adults. You really inspire them in a way that they inspire to do big things in life, inspired to be somebody, and they see hope. They see that it's possible to accomplish their goals and dreams. And I think both of you are doing that, and I really acknowledge you. And I know this could not be happening with the support of council here, and I know there's a lot of other people involved, other entities, so it takes teamwork, it takes an effort to really making the difference. So want to acknowledge you, both of you, anyone that is involved making a difference for the young adults, because these young adults are the people that are going to be running our city. So we want to mentor them correctly, support them so they can really lead our city the way it needs to go. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
So I guess just to close it off, I want to echo what my colleague Victor said. I again also want to thank you, ladies, for working with our youth, but more than anything, thank the participants for taking the time and coming out and participating in the city programs. I mean, there's tons of things that you guys can be doing, but yet you choose to come out here and be good examples in your community by working and taking the opportunity to learn. And so, I mean, without you guys coming out here, this program wouldn't be as successful. So congratulate yourselves and a pat on the back for your hard work. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You have a great evening.
Thank you. We now have a presentation by the American Red Cross relating to smoke detectors.
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, tonight we do have the American Red Cross here, and they'll be giving a presentation on smoke detectors.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Nadan Rambo, and this is Fatima. We're here with the American Red Cross. We want to thank you for allowing us to come out today, and it's an honor to be able to be here and talk to everyone. So, the American Red Cross, we respond to a lot of disasters, and our big thing is trying to keep people safe and save lives. And while most people would think that the biggest disasters are the hurricanes, the earthquakes, the tsunamis, the wildfires, the thing that ends up costing the most lives every year are actually house fires.
Hola, somos de la Cruz Roja Americana. Nos sentimos honrados de estar aquí. Queremos agradecer al Consejo por habernos recibido porque queremos salvar vidas de los desastres prevenibles. De los desastres. Unos creen que piensan que los terremotos, los tornados y los tsunamis podrían ser las fuerzas más dañosos. En realidad son los incendios domésticos los que causan la mayor pérdida de vida, causan el mayor daño y le cuestan al Estado la mayor cantidad de dinero cada año.
So, to help illustrate that, we actually have a video, a very quick video that'll sort of show how quickly fires can spread. So this is actually online. Anybody can hop onto YouTube, and there's a number of videos that show things like this. But essentially, that's a fire starting inside someone's house. I think what they used here was a cigarette falling into a trash can, but essentially, this could be a candle falling over. This could be a space heater that's collapsed. This could be, a lot of different things. But essentially, you have a fire starting inside of your house, and it starts at such a low level. You think you'd notice this, but this is something that most likely you could even be inside of the room and not even notice that it's happening. So this is just 40 seconds in. You see it starts to gets a little bit bigger. It begins to catch on to other things inside of the room. So we can see we're only 50 seconds in. This is just 50 seconds, and this has gone from a candle that fell over to now you're going to be losing a lot of furniture. But this is still at a point where you could possibly put it out maybe with an extinguisher. But the thing is, so at this point, the alarms in the house, if they were working, they would be going off. But if you didn't have them, you could still be in another part of your house and not realize that this burn is happening. So now we're at a minute and almost, so a minute and 20 seconds. This is 80 seconds since what was just a small candle started, and you can see it's beginning to take over the plants. It's starting to spread onto all of the furniture. What happens next is the air begins to get so hot that the drapes and other things that aren't even touching the fire will begin to just ignite. And they begin to catch on. Now you can see there's a lot of smoke. The flames are hitting the ceiling. And what was just a couple of seconds ago, a fire that maybe you could have put out with an extinguisher, it's now way too big and too dangerous for somebody to try to put out on their own. This is now a fire that you need to call for help. You may be looking at losing that entire room. You may be losing your entire house. You could potentially be losing a family member. So now we're just over 2 minutes in. So this is 120 seconds, 130 seconds. The smoke is at this point going to be so thick, anybody trying to find their way isn't going to be able to see very well. As you can see, that entire room is going up. This fire could be spreading to your living room, could be spreading into the hall, it could be blocking off your exit. So as you can see, this is less than 150 seconds, and essentially what was just a single cigarette falling into the carpet, or maybe a candle, or something as simple as that, it's now taken that entire room. And this could potentially be you losing your entire house. So house fires kill the most people every year. If you compare every other disaster, the hurricanes, the tsunamis, all of the, we don't need to play the next any other videos, but the hurricanes, tsunamis, disasters, things like that, if you look at all of those, house fires will kill more people every year than all of those. They'll do more damage, and they will cost the state more money than all of those disasters combined. So that's why we're here today. You want to jump? Just the thing with fire.
Okay. So, lo que estaba explicando del video, pueden ver que un fragor, una veladora se cayó. Y cuando se cae, no se ve que hay mucho daño que está haciendo y que alguien podía calmar ese incendio. Pero como pueden ver por la demostración del video, no toma mucho tiempo para ese incendio que se hace más y para que quema más cosas. Al mismo tiempo, cuando llega a la marca de 1.20, ese es cuando el aire alrededor de ese cuarto se pone a calentar bastante. Y yo no sé si ponieron atención a la marca de 2 minutos, las ventanas se explotaron y también una de las cabinets, uno de los cabinets se incendió y no estaba de cerca del incendio donde empezaba. Por eso, y si vieron la nota ahí también abajo, decía que al un punto, un detector de humo que estaba en el hallway se prendió para alertar a la persona que vivía en esa casa, pero ya en ese tiempo, porque como nomás tenían ese humo de detector a una distancia, ya era demasiado tarde para poner ese incendio para afuera, para apagar el incendio. Con ese tiempo ya, cuando llega a 2 minutos, ya hay bastante humo, hay mucho calor en ese cuarto y nomás ya no se puede controlar. Y ese es cuando podemos perder muchas vidas así. Y por eso estamos aquí para... I'm going to go into this right here. Y por eso nuestro objetivo hoy es tratar de reducir la cantidad de muertes por incendios en el hogar en los Estados Unidos. Y lo que hace la diferencia de morir en un incendio en la casa y salir de manera segura son las alarmas de humo que funcionan. Estamos teniendo un evento el 29 de febrero para instalar alarmas de humos gratis para aquellos interesados en la comunidad. Si está interesado en inscribirse a nuestro servicio gratis, comuníquese con nuestro capítulo de Long Beach al 213-793-5114 o visite soundthealarm.org/Los Angeles. Estamos buscando a cualquier persona interesada en el servicio o alguien que está interesado en ser voluntario y ayudar instalando las alarmas de humo gratis en su comunidad.
So essentially, what we found is the biggest difference between people getting out of their house safely and people tragically perishing inside of the house fires is whether or not they have working smoke alarms. A lot of homes don't have working smoke alarms. The ones they have may be old, may be out of date. So ensuring that people have working smoke alarms is critical toward that. So what the Red Cross is doing is we're offering free smoke alarms to anybody in the city of Hawaiian Gardens. Not only can they have as many smoke alarms as they need for their home, we'll also install them. So all of this stuff is happening for free, and we're doing this on February 29th. So Saturday, February 29th, we're going to be going out into the community. Anyone who is interested, anybody who doesn't have working smoke alarms, even if you have some and you think they might be old and you would just like to replace them, give us a call. We're happy to come out. This is a completely free service. If you are prepared and you would like to help out, we're also looking for volunteers. Every volunteer is paired up with a Red Cross worker, and you'll go out to help distribute these smoke alarms. So if you are interested, that is happening Saturday, February 29th, the last day of the month. It's going to be going on in the morning between about 10 and 1 o'clock. If you are interested, please call in to the local chapter of the American Red Cross. The Long Beach chapter is the closest one. You can call us there at 213 213-793-5114, or you can visit the website, which is soundthealarm.org/Los Angeles. So our whole goal is to try and get out as many smoke alarms as possible, to try and hopefully save as many lives as possible, and get this, and basically raise awareness about fire safety, earthquake safety. We even do disaster plans while we're there. We'll talk about how to safely get out of the home. And this is all a free service provided to the city and anyone who is interested. So if you are interested, please reach out to us. We're happy to come out, and that's happening on the 29th. Okay.
Honorable Mayor, Member City Council. So Mr. Licon has been working with the Red Cross to provide this service, and we're going to put it on the website and all our social media and marquees to make sure we get the people out. And I think the great benefit to this, it's more than just giving away the smoke alarms, as the representatives say, they'll actually help them get them installed, and which is just as critical as getting them. So we do appreciate their efforts, so thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
I just want to say one thing. I want to say that I want to thank you for bringing this information to our city. I think it's extremely important. We keep hearing that fires are the #1 killer, and somehow it continues on happening. So really appreciate it. I want to thank you for taking time to really bring this information to our city. And people, I recommend residents take advantage of free fire alarms. I think it's very important. It's a big deal. And one question for you. Do you provide like a little workshop seminar how to prevent fires in a more detailed community by any chance?
Absolutely. So we do have classes that we provide also for free. Everything from the Red Cross is free, and that goes in detail on preventing fires, how to get ready for a disaster, earthquake safety, all of that. And when we provide this as well, when we go out, they won't just be giving out installing the smoke alarms. They'll also even go into detail onto, here's some things you guys can do to be a little bit safer. Here's how you prepare for an earthquake. So we will absolutely go into that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
I had something to say. I know that volunteers are hard to come by, and you're going to provide trainers, but we need laborers to follow instructions and do the work under their supervision. So hopefully we can reach out to Celico Webb. There was a lot of people here. Maybe they'd want to help the city out. I'll go to the churches and find out if I can get help from them, and then we'll meet at 10 o'clock Saturday morning, February 29th.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, so for volunteers, we're meeting at a little bit early. So we're meeting at 8 for the volunteers.
Okay. All right.
And just so you know, every volunteer is paired up with a Red Cross worker. So it really gives them those extra arms to get those things up there. But everyone who would be coming to volunteer would be paired up with.
Is there an age limit on the volunteers?
No, generally high school and up.
So the City Council graciously provides funding for the YAL program and its teen center. So we'll make sure we get the word out to those folks as part of the deal, particularly with regards to the excursions, was that they had to volunteer for the city. And so we'll have some people for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a beautiful program. And if they want to feel like if they accomplish something, put these things up that save lives, they accomplish something.
I'll lock the
It's a
doors
good
to
thing.
the facilities over there, so they have nowhere else to be.
Good job. That's why he's city manager.
So before you leave, I know we're going to distribute flyers, put it on the website. But for those of individuals that are watching on TV, how could they contact you, or how could they get information about getting it installed in their home? I mean, just so that everyone on TV could watch.
Absolutely. So you can go to the website, which is soundthealarm.org/Los Angeles. And there they list basically every city that we're going into in LA County, Hawaiian Gardens included. Or you can call us directly at the Long Beach chapter of the Red Cross. That's where we're based. That number again is 213-793-5114. So give us a call there and we'll answer all your questions.
Okay. I was asking if you could translate in Spanish as well.
So also, I want to add on to that. If you do get our voicemail, please leave a voicemail. We do check our voicemails regularly, and we always calling back. So if you get a voicemail, don't hang up. Leave a message. But for those in Spanish, otra vez la información cómo contactar a las personas que están interesados en los humos detectores para gratis, o si quieren a voluntar, es soundthealarm.org/Los Angeles, o pueden llamar a nuestro capítulo en Long Beach y el número otra vez es 213-793-5114. Otra vez, el número es 213-793-5114. Y por favor, si agarre la bocina, deja un mensaje y alguien de la Cruz Roja Americana se va a contactar con usted. So deja el mensaje y no cuelga. Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, I'd like to add that Rambo, he instructed out of our public safety staff, 14 of them got certified in CPR and first aid. So thank you again for giving us certificates for that and training us on that. Thank you.
Very welcome.
Now we have no representation and update by the Hawaiian Gardens librarian Carolyn Reed.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council, esteemed city staff, and residents assembled. The library is here again, and we are starting up some programming on the 1st of February. We will be having a workshop designed for adults, but families are welcome. We'll be making quilt code cards. These are cards that are based on the quilt patterns that were made by at least one family running the Underground Railroad during the slavery era. And so we'll be exploring that. On Tuesday, February 4th, bring your tummy and your eyes and ears because we're going to be doing Hong Kong street food demonstrations. And we'll be making, there's the quilt cards, and in the Hong Kong food, they're going to be making for us, Chef Phoebe Chow, she'll be making two popular treats. One is the egg waffle, and the other is a steamed rice cake. This is the egg waffle. Yum, I'm going to be there. We're still doing our Smarty Pants story time this Friday and the 7th and the 14th and the 21st. So we hope you're going to be with us. That's for ages 1.5 to 4 and their adult caregivers at 10:30 in the morning. And then on the 15th, we will be having a paper making workshop. We're going to be taking various materials that are pulp and getting them a little bit wet and then pressing them into beautiful works of paper. And this is, again, designed for adults, but if you bring an adult with you and you're a smaller person, that's kind of fine too. So we hope to see you there. I wanted to let you know that we will be closed on Thursday, February 13th for a staff training day. We apologize for that. All LA County libraries will be closed, but it keeps us on our toes and makes us much sharper and more able to help you with all your questions. I also want to give a shout out to YEP. Right now we have a wonderful young woman named Jackie Ramirez who's working with us. Actually, right now she's there, working really hard. All three young women we've gotten from YEP have been stunning, stunning young women who have really caught on quickly and helped us immensely. And they learn a variety of things, not just page duties, but all sorts of things to do. And we are hoping that when they're done, they all want to come back and give us an application for when we have any openings, because we've been really impressed and we really appreciate the partnership that we have with the city for those young women. So with that in mind, have a wonderful rest of January, and we'll see you in February. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
No, but it's always a pleasure hearing updates. I don't know any other librarian that attends council meetings regularly, so I'm really grateful. Thank you for always providing updates.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you for the update. We now go to public comments. This is a time for members of the audience to come forward to address the City Council on items on and not on the agenda, but within the City Council's subject matter jurisdiction. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes.
Hello, my name is Raul Carlos. I'm a resident of Hawaiian Gardens. I live in 22109 St. Avenue. My car was vandalized. Someone went in my yard and vandalized it. It cost me $2,000 on repairs. This happened December 21st, 19. Just last night, I get up to go to work at 3 in the morning. I drive out of my driveway around 3:30. I seen a guy on a bike. He had a bandana and a hoodie, dark clothing on a BMX bike. I couldn't stop him myself, but lately there's been, my neighbor got something stolen from him. So around that area on Saint Street, there's someone prowling, a predator. So I would like for more police to roam around maybe from midnight to 6 in the morning, because I believe he's got confidence where everybody's asleep and he's prowling around the area. I already made 2 police reports. My car was vandalized and my girlfriend's car was vandalized too. I tried to get a dog, didn't work out. I don't make enough money to buy an alarm system. I barely get by with what I make. So I'm asking the city if there's any chance we can have more policing around the area.
Honorable Mayor, if I may, just can you meet with him after and get his information so we can help him?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rinaldo Rodriguez, 21402 Juan Avenue. Well, Mayor Alvarado, you and council members Maravilla, your plans are on the right track. Before I retired, Councilmember Maravilla and Mayor Alvarado had plans already to fire our city attorney at that time and hire an attorney who had been in trouble in other cities. You hire a consultant that promised our residents to build a baseball diamond, soccer field, skateboard parks over the Coyote Creek riverbed, which was, you knew it was impossible. But yet you sat there and you agreed with them. You went along with them. You hire friends, sons of friends, to work for the city. You have opened new positions for those friends. You have increased salaries also for your friends so that you can continue to manipulate them. Now, you took 2 months to finally talk somebody into apply for the Section 8 commission. You've been trying to figure out how to get rid of our ex-Section 8 commissioner, Alba Bach, because she sat there and she asked questions. You don't want anybody like that. And you finally did it. Tonight you even changed the rules that we had made before to accommodate your decision. And I can't understand why do we make rules and regulations when you can change them to whatever you need them for? So this new commissioner who was hired in January, which the applications have been already canceled the 25th of November. But you guys just went around and said, well, we can extend until we find somebody that we can talk into, be a commissioner, because I don't think nobody else wanted that job. But you insisted on getting Alba Bach out of there, so you talked somebody else into, which is a city employee, the son of another city employee. So you guys are just doing whatever you want. But just remember one thing, there's no loyalty in politics, and you guys proved it. Sooner or later, you guys are going to turn into each other, and unless you're really, really excellent council members.
Francis Rodriguez, I live on Britton Street. And I'm a little upset too. Why would you put a city employee as a commissioner when you've got all these people in this city, a lot of people in this city that would love to do that job? And the city employee just started and he's a part-timer. So from now on, what's the rule? Are you going to be putting all city employees in all the commissions? Because I know there's a couple of positions open in public safety soon. So you're going to put some more in there? Is that the plan? Because you got rid of the rules. And another thing is the corporate, I looked at the events calendar, and they don't have that, what you call it, the New Hope, the mayor's prayer thing. They don't have it anymore on that city. What's going on? Did they get rid of it? Why did you get rid of it? So you can have events, on the events calendar, you have a corporate challenge, June the 20th to July the 2nd of 2020. 2 weeks. What's the corporate challenge? Who's doing it? Is it the city employees? Is it the public? Why is it on the public calendar if it's the city employees or if it's the commercial businesses? Why is that? I'd like an answer to that, because that's going to cost us a lot of money for doing it for 2 weeks and at various sites. It doesn't say, oh, at the city hall. It says various sites. So where are you going? Are you going to Long Beach? Are you going to Norwalk? Are you going? What is that all about? And this is all on taxpayer expenses, and I don't like that. The casino is building a hotel, and Colombo said it was a quasi hotel. Is it kind of sort of a hotel? What is that? I like that explained. And so the sister city thing, are you inviting all those people over again for the sister city from Mexico? For the carnival? Are you bringing them over again? Are you going to feed them again? Are you going to have parties for them again? I don't like that. Thank you.
Jan LaPointe, 12020, 226th Street. Regarding the public housing appointment, is it not a conflict of interest to have an employee serve on these committees? Shouldn't this be something that you have a lot of residents in this city? Seems like Alba was doing a good job, and maybe you're a little afraid of what she's speaking out about. Mr. Prieto, who's coming on, I wish you the best, and I hope you don't make decisions based on being an employee and base them on what the city needs. Regarding item 21 on the resolution, I hope the Pacific Gardens Medical Center people are going to be here to speak about that. Again, they've had almost 3 years of extensions, and it is time for them to, get it done. It's inappropriate for them to keep dragging their feet. There are people that need the medical care that could benefit from the business being opened. There are businesses in the city that would benefit because people would be stopping to purchase food or whatever they need while they're running through the city, visiting. There are potential skilled employees that could be hired that live in the city, so it's costing jobs. So it's time to get them off the dime and get them moving. I would also like to find out what is the status of the restricted parking that was talked about for that one street that's right next to Lakewood, where you said, on street cleaning day, residents can't get in. Is that a pilot program? Has it started? When will it start? What's the term of the trial, and when will it be available to other parts of the city? Because a lot of us have trouble parking on the streets. In the training, there was some training mentioned that was over a 3-day period where the employees went, including Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which I'm sure they had to be paid for their time. What are the guidelines? Maybe the city manager can help with that. What are the guidelines for training? Is there a guideline set up that would that gets approved vendors, sets a budget, establishes qualifications for training? When you have an annual review, an employee review, you say that the person excels in certain areas and they need to bring up their skills in other areas. If that's the case, everybody needs to improve their skills in some area. That's a motivation. That's a reason to have them in a training class. But to take employees and do it over a weekend is not appropriate. When you have enough employees that you're going to insist take a class, you can have it during business hours and not have to pay overtime or overnight expenses and meals. So that's all I have to say for now. Thank you.
Hello, Lorraine Cabrera. On March 3rd, we will be voting on Measure HG, the 3/4 cent sales tax increase from 9.5 to 10.25. The city wants to impose this increase because, big word, if the Attorney General passes regulations that would harm the Gardens Casino. Actually, we have no idea how the pending changes will affect our city revenue. The city web right now threatens to cut public safety, street repairs, senior services, after-school programs, and more if revenue decreases. They want to scare us. If this city council was really concerned about losing revenue, why is this council always spending money without any limits? You just approved a 3-day out-of-town empowerment seminar for our public safety officers. Repeat, 3-day out-of-town food lodging. Also, a 2-week corporate challenge seminar for city staff. All this is in the thousands of dollars. It's all about you guys and not the residents. Vote no on Measure HG. Take it to the ballot next time after we know if any revenue will be lost and how much of a loss. Winter Park, Cypress, Los Alamitos, Anaheim has a sales tax of 7.5. Lakewood, 9.5. Seal Beach, up the block, sales tax 8.75. Hawaiian Gardens, 10.25? Really? The winnings at the casino is unbelievable. 100,000, 50,000, 30,000. Mercedes-Benz giveaways. The casino is finding more ways to draw more people in. A small hotel is in the works on Juan and Carson. Featured fights is being featured upcoming. More revenue to make up for any losses. Again, no on Measure HG. Put it on the next ballot when we all know what the losses will be, if any, to the city.
Good evening. My name is Alba Bach, and I live on Juan Avenue in Hawaiian Gardens. And I'm here to express my disagreement with the appointment of the new PHA board member. First, he's a city employee. Second, his application was submitted to the city clerk a month after the deadline was closed. This is a reprisal. Straight out retaliation, because as a resident, myself, I had made complaints in the past regarding the current city government handling of city business. You make laws, rules, policies, guidelines, deadlines. You violate your own laws. You don't enforce them. Because when it's convenient for your agenda, your city attorney poorly advises you that you have discretion. This just speaks volumes on the dishonesty of the city, of the people who are running the city. Thank you.
Is there any more speakers? There being no more speakers, public comments are now closed. We go into agenda organization. Would anyone like to make changes to the agenda organization? Okay, there's no public hearings.
Wait. You're saying we can comment? Is that what you're saying?
You would like to make any changes to the agenda organizations? Public comments are now closed.
Oh. Well, I'd like to pull B1.
Anything else?
And the reason I want to pull B1 is I want to ask Freddie a question. So can I? Okay, good. Then let's go along with the rest of the consent calendar.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve can I get a motion to approve the changes to the agenda? Can I get a motion to approve the?
I'll make a motion to approve the remainder of the consent calendar in its entirety.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay. B1, Community Development Department Code Enforcement Division Monthly Report for October 2019. You have any questions? Hank?
Yes, I had a question for Fred, who runs that department. What is the job description to the code enforcement? The little green trucks? I mean, the green trucks, and they're fully equipped?
Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council, so those are public safety officers. They don't get involved with the code enforcement. This agenda item is specific to code enforcement.
Oh.
So it's,
So they're not part of code enforcement?
they enforce code, but it's mostly related to parking and traffic assistance and assistance at the Sheriff's Department. We have, separate from that, code enforcement officers that deal specifically with building code violations or those kind of things.
Okay.
But I can answer
Okay.
if it's
All right,
related.
I'll ask you a
let the
question
attorney-
then.
Okay.
Saturday, Kathy went to the door because the green truck pulled up, and they didn't pound, they just knocked on the door, and they brought this closed session grievance binder, and they said, "Can you give this to Councilman Trimble because he never answers his phone?" And so it was Saturday. So when I got the shower, she told me, and I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Then didn't they bring my city agenda too?"
Yeah.
I mean, because this is for the union, this is for the city, and they brought the union one, but not the city one. I thought that was kind of strange. What's their job description? I mean, it's okay and come over anytime they want, but they got to bring. I think the city's more important than the union.
I can talk to you after, and now those both are related. That agenda, that is part of tonight's agenda, but it's
I know,
closed
but
session.
shouldn't both of them be brought?
Yes, it should. And so I will speak to you so I can get details so I can address the issue. But that goes under the other duties assigned component, which is,
Okay.
folks
Well,
help
they
out
should
when we
then
need them. So
extend the
I agree.
component to
Well,
both.
I'll get details from you so we can address it.
Okay, good job. Thank you very much.
I'll make a motion to approve item B1.
Can I
I
get a
second.
second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. We now go to the discussion items. C20, appoint Elia Macias as a member of business representative to the Southeast Los Angeles County Workforce Development Board, Celico. Do we have staff report?
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, this is a matter that routinely gets brought to the council requesting for an additional appointment. This particular one is for the business element of restaurants, and the mayor has recommended Elia Macias to be appointed at this time.
Any discussions?
Yes. Is he a business owner? Is she a business owner?
She represents Tacos Hawaii restaurant. She's a manager.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Then she qualifies.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Any other questions?
No, I just want to thank her for taking the time to get involved. Obviously, it's great to have members of the business community involved in our community, and so I appreciate that.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve Elia Macias.
I'll make a motion to appoint Elia Macias as a member business representative to the Celico Web.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. We go to C21, resolution number 004-2020, approving a request by the Pacific Gardens Medical Center to allow an additional extension to the time period allowed for a temporary interruption of use associated with 16 entitlements for the hospital operation located at 21530 Pioneer Boulevard. Can we get staff report?
So, Honorable Mayor and Member City Council, so if you recall, this item was on the agenda 2 weeks ago. You've asked for it to bring back, and you've asked for members of the hospital to testify as to why they need the extensions, essentially an update of what's going on. Mr. Colombo can answer any particulars related to the staff report itself, but if you wish, you can have the representatives from the hospital come up and speak and give you an update of what's going on.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, and thank you for your time today. And my name is Manpreet Singh. I'm the Director of Operations for the facility.
1 second, sir. Let him raise that up for you so we can hear you clear.
Hello? Hello? Is that better?
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. So my name is Manpreet Singh. I'm the Director of Operations for the facility. And just to give a quick update on the facility, as residents have brought up the concerns, we'd like to address those. This project is kind of a long project. Why? Because it was left in a horrible shape. This facility was, it was a deadbeat project. There was no equipment working. We have put in $20 million into the facility. It's completely remodeled. New new equipment have been put in. I believe, Hank has visited as well, and we're currently working with CDPH, the California Department of Public Health, to get these projects completed. And in order to open this facility, we have to complete these projects and make them in compliance. We have partnered with another hospital system from this market, and this will help us open faster. Our slate right now to open is August. Hopefully, with this new partner and her team, we will be opening sooner. And I would like her to speak on this hospital, as she has much more expertise than us in this market and helping reopen hospitals. So I'm going to take it off to Precious Mays.
I have to jump up now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manpreet. Honorable Mayor and council members, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for allowing us to have this time. I'm very excited about this opportunity. Part of my team is here, and I won't bring them up here, but myself and my partner have partnered with Hawaiian Gardens and Dr. Singh and with their organization. And the reason that we did that is part of what we do is we work with community hospitals that serve the greater communities where there's a large portion of a good population of Medi-Cal, specialty circumstances with the homelessness and things of that nature. And because of that, we have an extraordinary team, and we know how to get through the systems of the acute care hospital side. What Manpreet stated is CDPH, California Department of Public Health, and OSHPD take a long time to get through that process, and it takes a lot of political maneuvering. It takes a lot of partnerships. It takes a lot of paperwork, and they're both those entities and organizations are actually understaffed at this time. And so because of the relationships that we have in this long sector and partnering, that we actually have the confidence that we'll be able to get this hospital up and running by August 1st, actually prior to that. So we're excited to actually partner and be part of this community and look forward to actually servicing not only your community but other communities out in this area, especially as you've heard, the Verity Hospital, St. Vincent's has closed, and many other hospitals are looking to close in these uncertain times in the healthcare organization. Any questions?
Well, I'm glad you're here and to present, and you sound like you got the ball rolling. And has the state inspected your new tanks, compressors, all that?
Yes, they've approved off on them. Those are signed off and ready to go. The compressors have been approved. Most of the OSHPD projects are complete and signed off. We're waiting on some minor TIOs to be completed. These are testing, inspections, and observations that the area compliance officer has to come in and check off. We've remodeled the entire facility, as you know, and we urge the community and the mayor and the council to come and visit. We would like to show around. We're still working on some minor modernizations, so we will be hopefully completing this prior to August 1st, like Precious said. And we're excited to bring jobs to the community. And again, the main thing is delivering the best quality of care possible.
And just to add to that, the opportunity for the community, and then we will be urging the council here and the community to support us through this process, because there are times that we will need the community and yourself to write letters and whatnot for OSHPD, for CDPH, so that we can encourage, and for our political constituents out there that we work very closely with. In order to get a hospital up and running from a closure perspective, it does take time, and it's a very lengthy process, and it's a very expensive process. But the community deserves to have this hospital and the care, and the physicians are on board, we have the staff on board, and collectively and together as a partnership, we look forward to delivering the care that you deserve.
Thank you very much. We're looking forward to have our hospital back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any discussions?
Well, I'd like to extend the request of number 004-220.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Just for clarification, can you give us a date? Is that for August 1st? So we can insert that into
August
the resolution?
1st, yes. Yes.
What's the recommendation, staff recommendation? Is it vacant on that?
Staff recommendation is to give them the requested timeline till August 1st.
Okay.
We just have to insert that into the resolution.
Yes. Okay, I'd like to extend their stay till August 1st on 004-220.
Can I just make a comment?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that August 1st is really the deadline. I know we've been giving them multiple extensions, and I know that the intention of this hospital is to have a hospital for residents that is highly needed. So I want to make sure that this new date extension is the actual date. And like you mentioned, that potentially with your partner, you can create this a lot quicker, get it done. So just make sure that that's the case, and the sooner the better. But I really encourage you to complete it before that due date, because I know we gave you multiple extensions already, and we don't want to keep going this way. So thank you for understanding.
And let me say one other thing. I mean, they waited over 2 years for the state to inspect their oxygen tank. So that was a long haul. So I'm sure since the big things are over, they're going to do everything they can to get it done. Yes.
Can I get a second? Who's second? You second? Okay.
Just for it was actually an amended motion. So, Councilmember Maravilla, can you please second the amended motion?
I'll second the amended version.
Councilmember Trimble?
Yes.
Councilmember Maravilla?
Yes.
Councilmember Farfan?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roa?
Yes.
Mayor Alvarado?
Yes.
Motion carries, sir.
Thank you. We go to C22, Homelessness Initiative Update and Approval of Los Angeles County Contract and City of Hawaiian Gardens for Homelessness Plan Implementation.
Honorable Mayor, Member City Council, Linda Zuniga is going to present, but essentially she's going to provide you an overview. Just two things today. We're seeking authorization to sign a contract, and then she's going to provide an overview of all the homeless activities that have been going on over the last several months with Linda and her staff.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of Council. Tonight's report provides a general update on homelessness and a request for Council approval on the agreement between the City and County for the homelessness grant. The first grant submission was rejected by the County because it did not increase the number of available housing units. At the County's request, we reapplied and were granted the maximum amount of $300,000 to help those in need with move-in assistance, motel vouchers, and access to shelters in nearby cities. The grant also supports hiring a contract position for systems coordinator to implement services locally with an emphasis on connecting families referred by the school district. The systems coordinator will also be responsible for developing agreements with local motels and shelters in nearby cities, and working with all community partners to identify those in need and to expand the understanding and utilization of available resources. An important requirement of the grant is to connect those receiving services to the appropriate homelessness services agencies for long-term housing and supportive services. Once the city and county approve the agreement, we can enter into an agreement with PATH for the systems coordinator. PATH is our local homelessness lead agency. Can I answer any questions about the county grant?
And let me just stop you there. So essentially the benefit here that we'll get via the grant and hiring somebody through PATH is that right now we essentially get a part of a counselor that does this type of work whenever they're in the area or they come out for a site visit. This would dedicate somebody to Hawaiian Gardens 100%. And so that's the difference here is in addition to the county resources we have now, we're going to use this grant to hire somebody to specifically help out just Hawaiian Gardens and actively seek out folks, make contact. They have an entire routine of what they do. And then also work with the school district, as Linda will talk a little further. But I wanted to tell you the kind of the difference of what you have now versus what you're going to get. What you have now is the county, through its discretionary funds, pays for a variety of these folks to work the entire county. So I think everything outside of north of Long Beach, right, is the person that helps out in this area?
Yes, and so we have a lot of providers that are working in Hawaiian Gardens at all times, but this person will be utilized to really connect them and to make sure our school district, our library, our law enforcement, our public safety staff knows where to go and what to do. It's really going to connect the resources with our local services, with the regional resources available.
And we're going to house them here, right, somewhere at city facilities?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're hoping they can spread their time between our offices, the school district, as well as maybe time at Fedi Resource Center.
Do we still have the coalition monthly meeting?
We do not have the Homeless Coalition just for Hawaiian Gardens. What we actually have now is we have LASA and PATH putting on the LCA4, which is it's our area of the county. So it's a small area of the county that comprises the city of Lakewood, city of Signal Hill, and Hawaiian Gardens. They put on quarterly meetings that mirror our Homeless Coalition meetings. So they let me know today, actually, that the next meeting should take place sometime in February.
And where are they held?
They're going to rotate between Signal Hill, Lakewood, and Hawaiian Gardens, and possibly PATH offices in Long Beach.
Well, that's good to partner with other cities. It's
So
a good thing.
Those are our larger regional meetings where we connect with our neighboring cities. Once we get the grant, we'll also have a small working group just pertaining to our grant and services and our community partners here.
Well, about 2 weeks ago, we received 300 blankets, and I think we got like 100 left. So if PATH or anyone needs blankets, we'll be glad to give them blankets to give to the homeless.
Linda, can you speak to the recent partnership we have with the school district with
Yes.
the children for Christmas?
Yes. So the City Council at the beginning of this fiscal year approved $5,000 in general funds to support local students experiencing homelessness with items that may not qualify under grant or state guidelines. So any of the local resources as well as school district funds, they have certain guidelines. So these items are considered essential to providing stability in a student's life. We have worked in coordination with the school district to purchase items with half of the funds so far this fiscal year. And we expect to replenish the items needed throughout the school year. So half of those funds have been used, and those items are in possession of the school district, and they will be distributed by the school district.
And there was an initial distribution prior to the Christmas break, and they're essentially the necessity items for kids that are at risk of being homeless. The benefit in partnering with the school district is the City of Hawaiian Gardens does not have case managers. The school district has case managers that identify children in this community that are at risk of being homeless or are homeless, And so we essentially depend on them to do that casework, and we provide them those resources that they don't get. So it was a good activity. I do want to commend Linda and staff. I mean, they literally went out and created essentially these I don't want to call it homeless baskets, but a package that people can take with them before the Christmas break to get them through the Christmas break. Because as you know, some of these children outside of the school meals, that's basically their biggest meal of the day. And so we try to address where we could certain situations. So.
With regards to these items, that's aside from the backpacks, right? I remember one of the issues that had been brought up was students being able to identify the items that are given to children in need. So what are we doing to eliminate that, the stigma? Yes.
Right. No, I understand that, and that was an important part of the program. So we're not buying anything in mass quantity that's generic. What we're doing is we're working with the social workers to identify exact items that are needed, that would provide stability quickly. And so those are the items that we purchased. We document it, we give it to them, and it's for children who either from Hawaiian Gardens or the families identify with Hawaiian Gardens. But definitely it's not just a mass purchase of generic items.
So that discussion actually happened during the homeless town hall meetings, if you recall. And it's one of those things that's I mean, you think you're doing a good thing, but it's an oversight, right? You buy 300 backpacks, exactly the same, and everybody kind of knows who got those backpacks. And so part of what basically Linda said in English is that they just went out there and bought a variety of whatever they needed, they bought individually. And so it's not any one person does not have the exact same thing that the other person got because their needs were different. And again, the benefit is that because they have case managers, they know exactly what they need. Some children may have needed shoes or those kind of items, or someone else strictly meal vouchers, that kind of thing. But ultimately, the great partnership we have is that we don't have that resource, and more importantly, we don't have the contact that these folks have daily with some of the children. I mean, the next step, and talking with Steve, is transferring that resource and transferring that tool to the rec leaders at the parks. If they identify children that may qualify for something like this, helping those children out.
Thank you, Linda. To me, it's very important that we continue that policy as far as making purchases that are not generic, and that we do everything we can to eliminate the kids from actually being called out or identified as at risk or of being homeless or even homeless. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. And just to give you an example, there's also privacy issues with students and the schools and their right to privacy and the records. So a lot of times the social worker at the school district will give us the information, and it may be that a student is just homeless overnight. Maybe it was due to an eviction, and they have to start at a new school or start at their existing school with no PE clothes, no shoes. So that's an example where we'd go out and just buy items for that specific situation. So it's very specific to that student and not identified as something that would cause that child any grief.
And this grant will allow us to respond more aggressively with things like, in that situation, an actual voucher to get a motel or a down payment for a house, those kind of things. Right now, because we don't have the coordinator specific to Hawaiian Gardens, it's harder for us to identify and keep track of individuals to qualify for that funding. But this specific person that would keep the records, we'll be able to say, in this particular situation, they really could use a motel voucher or hopefully long-term assist with utilities and down payment, that kind of thing.
One more question, Linda.
Sure.
So how does the school district handle the situation? I know it's on a case-by-case basis, but is it referrals through the school, or is it the student has to approach the school district? How would they identify someone who's at risk?
So it can be multiple ways. It can be at a school site. So one of the things with the ABC Unified School District is we're very lucky. There's a full-time social worker assigned to each school site. And not like one full-time that goes to different sites. A full-time dedicated staff for each school site. And they report to lead social workers at the district. So it may be a referral through the actual social worker at the school or the principal at that actual school site. It also can be someone who goes to the FEDI Resource Center and gets connected through their school to the Resource Center, or maybe they're not comfortable going straight to their school site and they go straight to the Resource Center or the district. So it's multiple ways, but they have a very good working relationship.
If somebody, say for example, needed assistance, I'm a parent, I don't have the funds to, or I'm in a difficult situation and I need assistance, do we have anything in place where they can actually reach out to the City of Hawaiian Gardens, or do they need to go out and find a social worker at their school site?
Well, we do have individuals that reach out to us at the Safety Center, and what we do is we connect them to the appropriate homelessness agency. So we have PATH for single adults, we have Hoviness for our teenagers or young adults, and we have the Whole Child for families, which includes families with children. So this systems coordinator will just improve that referral system. So we refer them there, but they're big agencies, and a lot of times individuals need a little bit more support in making that connection.
To your point, we don't have that. This contract, this grant will allow us to provide that, because Linda is right. She does the best she can, but it goes into the county system. And so now it's going to be a lot more manageable.
Right, and so my question comes from the example that the young lady shared earlier, where she was living out of her car. So that's obviously a homeless situation. But if we don't have, a point of contact, if it wasn't for her activity in the youth employment, we fail to provide a service to someone in that situation. So just for purpose of, informing the public, if I was in that situation, or someone finds themselves in this situation, what can they do to obtain help?
If the person is not comfortable or experiences resistance in connecting with one of those agencies, as the city staff, we also make contact with the outreach worker ourselves and provide a reference.
I think what Mr. Roa is asking is, like, if somebody approaches one of us, or we hear about a family or a child that needs assistance, what do we tell them?
I think you refer them to Public Safety Center.
Okay.
Because from there we can direct them.
Because I know that now we offer so many different services at the Public Safety Center, which includes like the PSOs and the services that they offer, and now this. And I would just like something more comprehensive that we can put on our social media, that we can hand out to the schools. Maybe we can send a flyer to all the schools, so that way they know, and the parents know, and the principals and the teachers know. Because honestly, I know that one of the principals did reach out to me over winter break because one of the families had an issue that they needed assistance with, but I didn't necessarily know that I could just refer them to the Public Safety Center. So for me, it's like, even within the small city, it can be convoluted even for us to know. So how can we expect all the rec leaders? I'm sure most of them don't know this, and they're the ones that have a contact with the kids. And so I would want this information to be disseminated to all city staff, and maybe I don't know how often we have staff meetings with all departments, including Public Works and rec leaders, but I think this is an important conversation to maybe we can start doing like quarterly informational staff meetings on a Saturday morning or whatever, or a 6 a.m. meeting. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out information so that everyone has access to this information.
Right, and we'll do that. And I think once we get this person on board, it'll make it a lot easier, because right now there isn't. So we take advantage of the school district's case managers, but we don't have one. And I can tell you right now that those folks that are assigned in the region that help us out now, I can't just call them and have them come in. But if I have somebody in one of our city facilities, we can go knock on a door and it'll be a lot easier. And then we can make that person responsible for going out to our staff members and making sure they have all the information they need to make the appropriate referrals. So we were very fortunate to get the grant. And as you know, Linda, we fought quite a bit with the county to get this money because we were originally rejected. And now that we have it, let's take advantage of it and provide exactly what you're saying, because right now we don't have it.
So hypothetically, Well, first of all, thanks for putting in the hard effort, staff, and making this, feasible. Let's just say we do move forward on this. When do you anticipate we get this particular individual on board, potentially?
So at this point, we need to have it approved by City Council, and then it'll move to the Board of Supervisors, and they will approve the contract. Once we receive that countersigned contract back, we can enter into an agreement with PATH. In anticipation with that, I've already been in communication with them, and they are getting their internal process started. But again, we need to have the approved contract before we actually move on it. And once that is done, we will interview candidates.
And just to double check, is this a contract that was reviewed by our city attorney?
It's the county contract. So a couple things that need to happen is we need to get the contract over to the attorney. We still need to do a budget amendment. There's some few steps. So I actually was interject to Councilmember Farfan's point. This is a slow process. I mean, they told us when we get this grant, and we're just now getting the first step.
Right. It was the end of 2018 when it was initially submitted.
So I'm excited, but it's a process. And so we're at the very first start of the process is, do you want to commit into this contract? And now if that's the choice today, then we'll do all the appropriate measures after that, because unfortunately we have time.
I had one question, just for clarification. Is the county going to pick the person that's going to gel it all together?
We plan on subcontracting with PATH, our lead agency, and they will have candidates for us to interview.
Beautiful. Good job.
Any other questions? Sorry. I'll entertain a motion.
If I could
Yes.
provide an update on one more item. I wanted to discuss the agreement about the City of Bellflower. I thought that was important to bring to you. The City of Bellflower has reached an agreement to join the Orange County Settlement Agreement. They have committed to building a shelter in Bellflower for 50 individuals, which equals approximately 60% of their unsheltered homeless population. By joining the settlement, they avoid future mandates and additional costs related to the Orange County federal lawsuit, because the conditions of the settlement agreement are expected to be mandated across all cities in Los Angeles County. It was a federal lawsuit. So that's what is expected. So the City of Bellflower preemptively contacted Orange County and asked if they could join the settlement agreement. So that was approved. It was approved by the City of Bellflower. And so they will be building a small shelter in the City of Bellflower. And federal law, through recent court decisions, prevent cities from enforcing anti-nuisance regulations for loitering or sleeping outdoors unless the city provides temporary emergency shelter for the homeless population. By joining the settlement agreement and providing local shelter options, Bellflower will have enforcement options not previously allowed. So this is a pretty unique situation, and the first city in Los Angeles County to approach Orange County. But we are being told that other cities are also now approaching Orange County. So I wanted to let you all know that. The city manager and staff, our city manager, continue to work as active participants with the county and the Gateway Cities COG to develop strategies to reduce and prevent homelessness and address the shortage of local shelter, especially in this area of the county. So that concludes my report. If you have any questions. Otherwise, there's actually three parts, three requests with this report, and that is to approve the county contract between the city and the county for the homelessness plan implementation, authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement with PATH to provide a contract position of systems coordinator, and finally authorize a budget amendment necessary to record the homelessness implementation grant revenue and expenditures.
Except I don't believe the budget amendment resolution's in here, and so that'll have to come back to you. But it is asking to authorize myself to sign the contract with the county after the city after the city attorney reviews it. But from my experience of working with the county, if the attorney has 20 comments, they're going to tell her thank you for the comments.
So I guess I'll make a motion to approve LA contract AO-19-6 and for our city manager to enter into an agreement with PATH to provide a contract position for systems coordinator.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries. We now go to C23, status update relating to the California Cities for Self-Reliance Powers Authority. I'm actually part of the board, so I'll give an update. So the agency is preparing right now to tackle the threats that are coming from the Attorney General's office. One, we're actually in the middle of a transition period, so we actually, we coming together. Now, we highlighted 3 areas that we're working on or looking to work on, which will be focusing on 1, the organization of the JPA, 2, the organizational capacity, and 3, outreach, lobbying on behalf of the casino's employees and the community best interest. And also just to share the Carajé, today we received a check for $30,000, so all CDs are current, they all pay their fees. So that's my update right now.
I had a question for Linda. So all cities paid, Cudahy paid?
Yes, we received Cudahy's check today.
So that's 5 cities? But it takes a budget of $210,000 to run it efficiently for traveling and everything else. There's only 5 cities there now, right? And it's going to get by with $30,000 each, or is the price going to raise?
They're going to have to
It has
adjust.
to raise.
So I can tell you just in discussions that I've been a part of, is they're going to have to adjust their budget.
They're going to have to adjust. We're going to pay at least $70,000 now. We're going to go from $30,000 a year to $70,000 a year. And there was a big meeting in Sacramento 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday when they were discussing online gaming. And no one from the JPA was there to represent the cities because they figure we have nothing to do with it. That's not cards, it's online gambling. But the last JPA was on top of that because if the card club gets hit with fines concerning certain games and they go online, all we want is 1% of that online gaming, and that would supplement any hit we take. That's why we wanted to burn the candle at both ends, and that's what was going on. But now that there's this new leadership in the JPA, they're going to let the casino have the online all they want as long as we get the card, but the cards are under attack. So I'm just saying, we're getting less bang for the buck. We're going to get less movement, but charge more money. That's what I'm saying. And an article came out in the paper about the city that fought each other. What city is that?
City of Commerce.
Commerce. And it's not looking too good with their actions in that. And the other article that I read about Hawaiian Garden Casino, and you were going to have a meeting with Keith Sharp on that. Did you meet with him?
No, we couldn't connect today.
Okay, because I'm not going to expose that yet then until you talk to Keith Sharp. We need a JPA that's going to get up and move. That's what I'm saying. I don't see them moving. I'm seeing we're us paying a lot more for less movement. So in that case, I would like to make a motion to bow out of the JPA and let Keith Sharp handle the business there. You got something to say, attorney?
I was just reviewing the agenda title to determine what it was updated. It's agendized as a status update.
Mm-hmm.
So there's you can't make a motion to do
all
that.
Right.
But
okay. All right. That's okay. I hope you guys the best.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, actually, we like I just shared with you, we're actually in the middle of a transition. I know in the past when we had the executive director, he was costing us $8,000 a month and then some. So he had a lot going on that didn't take us anywhere. We spent thousands of dollars. So right now it's only 5 cities. They all paid what they had to pay. And right now we're actually saving money by not having an executive director, which we're looking to hire one. But also the expenses went down dramatically. We have very little expenses. So what we're trying to create is it's going to be very affordable. Where we're coming to a point where we're not going to need a whole lot of money to run the JPA. We got some expenses, but with the past executive director, he was just running things to the roof. That's why we had to request another $30,000 in the past, because in 1 year it went, to the roof with the expenses. So right now we don't have an executive director. We don't have all these expenses that was taking us through. So actually we're going to be able to do a lot more with very little. Not only that, we got help. We're going to be using the Gardens Casino PR firm. So we got resources that in reaching out to resources that actually going to have us save money. We had an attorney that was costing us several $1,000s a month. We have an attorney that is free. How about that? Free. So that's the great thing. So we actually saving money. We go in the right places. Just a transition from not having an executive director and then an attorney, it slows down, but we actually moving forward and we're doing the right thing. So there's no mistake about that. We got to continue fighting the fight and protecting our casino, the best interest of our city. So, we got to stay where we at.
And I wanted to comment on that. It wasn't an extra 30,000; it was extra 15,000 because that's when we first got attacked, and we needed to get legislators to move on our behalf. So we were just safeguarding ourselves, and which was wise. But you guys just hired a new manager, new director.
Well,
how much you paying that new director?
Listen, we had a closed session, and I can't disclose that information right now. I'm not sure where you got it from, but it was closed session.
Well, trying to save money and getting cheaper, we'll find out when that closed session gets revealed on how much you're saving. Good luck. Good luck on the JPA.
Can I get a motion to receive and file?
I had something to say. You're saying you're working real close with the casino and their attorneys now, right? Well, you see, the JPA, it looks out for the city. The casino don't like the JPA. So if they got rid of the JPA and now they're going to help you guys along and don't worry, that we should worry about because they look out for themselves and they do a good job at it. You follow me? We're supposed to be separate. That's like I'm a city council. I look out for the best interest of the city. But if I'm owned by the union, then the heck with the city, whatever this union wants, I'll give them. You follow me? It's a conflict of interest. And that's what the JPA is the mistake is don't work with the casino. We love the casino. We need their finances, but we also want to be fair with them. And we don't want their attorneys telling you guys what's best for the city.
They're not telling us anything.
I believe we also have Gonzalez and Sons that help lobby for us in Sacramento. And so I think this is a transition period, and we've discussed this various times.
I've never heard the casino is going to help us along, and we're using their attorneys. That's the first I've heard of it. Maybe you guys.
I never said they're helping us. I said we got
good.
a different
I'm
attorney
glad
that is
they
helping
are.
us out. I never said the casino attorney is helping us out.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to receive and file the status update.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We go to D, committee reports, presentation on various commission minutes, and committee reports. Can we have a staff report?
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a routine item, just the various commissions and committees that have met, and this is their minutes and reports.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to receive and file.
Can I get a second?
Second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. We're at new business. Is there any new business? No?
Well, I had a question concerning the carnival that's coming up. I know a guy who has a truck that makes fish tacos, and he asked if he could sell fish tacos at the carnival. And I told him it might be too late. Can he put an application in?
Steve, can you help me with this?
Yes, so Councilmember Trimble, as we try and do every year with the carnival, with the food vendors, is we try and make it a fundraising opportunity for our nonprofit organizations. So we typically give them first dibs on on food booths. So
Yes.
If it's a for-profit, maybe we can look at using him for another event.
Yeah, I remember now. Yes, okay, thank you very much, Steve.
You're welcome.
Are there any oral staff reports?
Honorable Mayor, Mayor of City Council. So tomorrow morning, we'll start doing public education presentations on Measure HG. So we have one scheduled in this building at 9 a.m. and then at the sports complex at 4 p.m. This information will be put on the city website, and we're going to try to target all our stakeholders. So this is just the very start of many. I think we're trying to organize something with the seniors and then reaching out to the business community, but essentially, by law, we're restricted to just providing public education, so that process is going to start. I think that is it. I only have 2 scheduled right now. So.
I just wanted to invite the community, if they haven't already done so, to please come out and visit our City Hall during regular business hours 8 to 5 and demo the new voting machine that is still available. This will be the last week that it's here. You do not have to be a registered voter. It is only a demonstration ballot marking device, and I encourage everyone to come out and attend. Bring your children, any future voters, even if you are not registered to vote and have no intention of voting, just come on by and see elections in action.
Thank you, Lucy. Are there any oral council reports?
I actually just want to say thank you to Fetty Middle School. Today I had the opportunity to go and participate in their career day, and I think this is a wonderful opportunity that Fetty's putting out for our students. There was engineers out there. I was out there representing the city, and realtors and just members of our community that participated today in that event. And I think it's a wonderful opportunity for our kids to start looking internally at future role models and even just career choices. And I'm glad that members of our community take the time to go back and speak to the kids, what they do, and give them an insight on their jobs and their careers. So it was a great experience. I really enjoyed it. I went out there and Candelario joined me, and so we were able to talk to some of the kids at Fetty Middle School.
I have a report. I attended the New Mayors and Council Academy, the League of California Cities. They actually talk about the do's and don'ts of conducting a proper council meeting. They also learn about the Brown Act rules and when we conduct meetings. They also talk about the ethics and the Political Reform Act. They also recommended that the City Council be in constant communication with the city attorney and the city manager. So it's extremely important to be in communication. So, it was 3 days. I learned a lot, and I think this training is extremely important because, this type of trainings, if we don't go to these events, then how are we going to learn how to improve ourselves, what the law is, how to, become the person we need to become as council members, and also how to bring value to our cities. And they talk about information that if you don't attend, we don't know what's going on. There's stuff that can affect our city. There's things going on that will benefit our city. So I think those trainings are extremely important. And I learned a lot. They covered, 3 days. It was a lot of information, but very valuable. Even I repeated some information there that the more I listen to it, the more it sinks in, gives me more clarity. I think it's important because there's a lot going on with laws and regulations and Brown Act and this and that you can get lost in the middle of all that. But I learned a lot, so I'm really grateful that I was able to attend, and I really appreciate my colleagues and, that we can all definitely support one another to take these trainings that'll make a difference in our community. Thank you. Anything else? Right now we go to closed session. Megan, can you please introduce read the closed session matter?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City Council will now convene in closed session pursuant to the items listed under the agenda for anticipated litigation, exposure to litigation under Government Code Section 54956.9 D2, 2 cases, and labor negotiations under Government Code Section 54957.6.
The City Council meeting is recessed at 7:50 p.m. to close session. The City Council meeting is reconvened from closed session at 9:41. Megan, can you please report back from closed session?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City Council met in closed session pursuant to the items listed on the agenda. No reportable action was taken.
Thank you. There being no further business, I hereby adjourn this meeting at 9:41 p.m. until our next regular meeting to be held on Tuesday, February 11, 2020 at 6 p.m.